Welcome to Spotlight on Connected to India. My name is Tushar Kutyala. I'm delighted to welcome Shalima Motial, Himanshu Motial, and Ishika Sircar, who are producers, co-director, and actors in the Singapore independent film Dominoes. Welcome to Spotlight.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tushar.
So, Shalima, let's start with you. Dominoes was your brainchild. How and why did the idea of making a film come about, and when did Himanshu and Ishika and the others get involved? When did you bring them in?
All right. So this year, Dream Catchers is going to complete 12 years. I produced about 8 to 10 short films during the last 2 years of, being confined, and also produced some films to be showcased in cinema hall. And we received great response. So then, the thing is like the company's name is Dream Catchers. And I need to start catching more and bigger dreams. And that's when this idea of a full length feature film came about. That if we can make short films, let's just dream big and make this big film happen. And I really believe in the universe. So when that idea came about, Himanshu, Ishika, and so many other talented people, just came together to make this happen. So it's like if you really want something, the universe conspires to make it happen.
So, starting with you, Himanshu, could you just speak a bit about your day job and how you balance your work with your interest in filmmaking?
Hey, thank you, Tushar, and my admiration for all the things that you all are doing at Connected to India. Uh, Look, I work in the field of wireless communications, and that's my day job. The off late Dominoes is also encroaching a bit on my day jobs because I'm spending a little time in the post production, and we are hoping we'll have a great product out. No, I think it's I think especially after the pandemic, we all learned how work life and personal life can be very nicely interwoven. And I think many of us suddenly had the opportunity and the itch to come out and express ourselves with our talents, whatever they were. And I think even companies have become a lot more accommodating and understanding that hey, they need to be more outcome driven. So allowing employees the flexibility to do their cool things and whatever keeps creativity and talent going. So I think generally corporates are encouraging that. As far as how do I personally balance that, I think weekends is really this entire film was shot over multiple weekends, and I wasn't the only corporate goer. Many people were holding a job, and so Saturdays and Sundays were dedicated to Dominoes, and I think there were roughly about 33 or 34 days of shooting, all of which were weekends, right? So that's how it was done. So that's how you balance work and life.
Ishika, you're working at Meta, I believe.
Yes.
So, how do you balance acting with corporate work? And do you see yourself ever, quitting working your day job to devote yourself to acting full time?
Sure. I mean, to start with, I completely agree with what Himanshu said. So, plus one to everything what he said. I think the main thing which drives to strike a balance between your professional life and your passion is the passion itself which you have. Like if you're passionate about something, you will ensure that it happens. And yes, companies are more accommodative. Like you are flexible to kind of work out how your day would look like. But having said that, personally for me, I have a 5-year-old, so I have a day job, and then my evening job is to be with my son until say 8:30, and after that back to calls. So I pursue my passion over the weekends, as Himanshu said. We shot over like multiple weekends, and I think the two factors that helped me immensely to shoot during over the weekend is the flexibility of the production team, because even the production team has been super flexible about accommodating the actors' busy schedules, other family commitments, etc. And the second one I would say is definitely family support. Apart from that, it is just impossible to strike a balance. So support from my husband, my in-laws were here for about like 2-3 months. Luckily at that point in time, so that took care of the whole striking balance.
What attracted you to acting in the first place? At what age and stage in your life did you first enter the acting world, and then when did you enter the Singapore performing arts stage?
That's a lovely question. I believe I'm a born drama queen. So I've been wanting to be an actor since the age of 5, I guess. That's when the first time I actually went and told my parents I want to be an actor. And I started performing in school. So, yes, around that age as well. I did a couple of shows back in India, for Doordarshan, for the local channel called In Noida. I was a VJ there and stuff. So I've always loved it. School, college, I've been doing stuff. And then once we moved to Singapore, I buried that dream somewhere that, oh, okay, done, finished. And then entered the acting scene about 5 to 6 years back with Dasta. And then there was no looking back after that. So after I took part in Dastak 2 years, did I think classes with Kamil at CAC and also with Dastak. And then I was like, oh, I have dream catchers and I can start my own production, So that's when the theatre production came into place. Did that 2 years, then film production. And I did films for productions outside of Dreamcatchers as well. So yeah, it's been a fascinating journey. Lot of theater productions, lot of short film productions. First full-length feature film production as a producer and as an actor.
Himanshu, what about you?
Well, I was my father was in the Indian Air Force, and as a part of the culture, it was kind of customary that whenever someone came home, you had to perform something, either sing, act, dance. So I always grew up in that kind of an environment, and in school there were multiple opportunities to perform, including music theater workshops. And I think the first meaningful thing I did was probably I acted had a small cameo role in a serial called School Days, which is aired on Doordarshan for a while, and so that was a good exposure to acting. And then I think for a long while I was imprisoned in the corporate world, and therefore I kept all my acting inside the corporate world, and then I would say Singapore, Dastak, the same journey Shalima had, Kamil Haq, and Dreamcatchers, who set up along with ArcLight, they set up Timeless Tales, and then recently Dreamcatchers has now come up with Dominoes, which is a full length film, and so I have an opportunity to act and direct in the film.
Think I always loved acting, so I started acting at home at the age of 5. So I used to just pretend and enact different personalities, like maybe a house help or a driver or anything under the sun. And my elder brother is a good actor as well, and he's an author. So we used to enact scenes together and just like that at home. In school, I started doing like plays and small skits and stuff like that from grade 10, I would say. Before that, I never thought that I'm a good actor. It's just that I did it at home. And then came the academic pressure, so I really did not pursue any acting while at school. Then in college, I did, a couple of dramas and skits and stuff like that. But I think after coming to Singapore, I really got opportunities to do full length plays and docudramas, commercials, etc. So I remember my first play in Singapore was 12 years back with open stage production. And then similar to Himanshu and Shalima, I did a course in HCAC and then Dastak and lots of other production. And this is my first feature film as well.
So let's just move on to talking about Dominoes. Himanshu, you're co-director in the movie, and in many ways, Dominoes is sort of like a collection of firsts. So, what sort of challenges did you have to face as director, and especially with this is the first feature film for teamwork? Sorry, for Dreamcatchers, and it's also there are a lot of firsts in there. So, what were some of the challenges you faced?
First of all, I believe and I hope that the audience, when they first see it on February 3rd at the Carnival Cinema, will should come out saying, "Hey, that is a great production. Completely conceived and produced and shot in Singapore." And I think we achieved that with a crew and cast, many of who were doing the first time feature film, right? A full length feature film. And many people in the production side, which really can make or break a film, were also first timers. Like I was holding the camera for the first time. So I was directing and holding the camera, for example, as the second camera, to be clear. And and then there were some people who were actually on the sound for the first time, etc. Right. So I think that is the biggest opportunity, just a phenomenal amount of learning we all had. And I think if you see the first couple of practice shots we did to what we actually ended up producing, there's a dramatic day night difference. Because you can make content today on even smartphones, right? So, but there is a dramatic difference when you start doing cinematic lighting, and when you start using the right kind of cameras that create intrigue through depth, you can actually end up creating a very ordinary looking situation or scenario into something of a lot of interest and intrigue. So I think those are all the opportunities to learn, and we really got together as a family, as an entire production team. I think the challenges were just that we were trying to, sometimes it felt squeeze an elephant through the window, because we were trying to get a lot of things done, in a given day in the time. The number of shots we took, the number of scenes we shot. For example, we have an office shot, scene, right? So, but we had that office for limited periods of time. It was in the CBD, prime CBD area. So, we would have to accomplish a lot. We were shooting at Yarana, the restaurant. We had to accomplish a lot in that given day. So I think those were the challenges of, trying to get done a lot when you're working on modest budgets and trying to make a big impact with a little budget. I think those are the things that come into play. So yeah, those are the things I can immediately think of.
Ishika, I'd like to ask you a slightly different question. This was your first time acting in front of the camera. So, what was it like, making the transition from theater and live performance acting to acting for a movie in a movie?
Yeah, I can. The best thing which I like about the acting scene in Singapore is that the process is very straightforward. Like, especially in my earlier days when I thought that I want to act, what I literally did is go to Facebook, join the different acting groups, and applied for auditions. And then people call me for auditions, and it all depends on on your acting and on your merit, whether you're selected or not. If you're not selected, then you have more opportunities. So I felt that the process was very clean and very yeah. So that was the best part about it.
Okay, so Shalima, what kind of audience and viewership do you have in mind for Dominoes?
So it's open to the world because it's in English, and so we are not limited by language there. And I think in terms of age group also, we've got a PG rating, so it'll appeal to everyone. So we invite the entire Singapore, and by God's grace, we will try for OTT platforms after this. So it's open to the whole world.
Okay, so personally, as producer, what would you consider and how would you measure Domino's success? I'm sure that you must have been very satisfied when you finally finished the entire process. But now, what would you like to see? How much of what kind of splash would you like it to see out there?
So success would be when it makes people think about the different characters, because we are also trying to give a message here of how important mental health is and how often people ignore it. What women empowerment is about, how women can relate to each other's problems and be there for each other. Other response, I'd want the whole world to see it. That's going to be a huge success through an OTT platform. Eventually through ZTV, it's going to be showcased in 18 countries to 12.6 million viewers. Yeah, so that's in the pipeline, anyways.
Okay, Himanshu, as you said that now it's people are shooting movies on their smart, or you can create content on your smartphone as well, and that the barrier to create indie films has been lowered a lot with new technology. So, what were you thinking about, and what was your plan exactly to make Dominoes and other content stand out?
Absolutely. So, good question, Tushar. I mean, there is a lot of interesting content, actually, as you correctly said, like shot on smartphones. I think it's first of all, it's the storyline that is very interesting because it is a thriller, and it's a story about four women, two of who are on camera right now, or rather being portrayed by the two women here on camera right now. So it's a story about four women and how they are facing their own challenges and battles, and they're kind of stuck. And then when one achieves a breakthrough, it kind of creates a ripple effect, helping the others also break through. And in a way, these were independent lives, but they get interwoven. So that's really what the plot is, and it's a thriller, and it's also got a lot of acute teenage angle, and it should be both heartwarming, charming, and at the same time, a little bit I won't say alarming, but it certainly rhymes there, right? So I think the storyline itself, and I think we did work very hard to make sure that the acting was very believable. We worked very hard to come up with a production quality that really upped the game. So in terms of the kind of, and I would particularly say the lighting effects. because sometimes lighting can really make or break a movie, right? So that is a big learning for us, how playing with lighting can really create intrigue and drama, and make a scene very exciting. So I think those are the big changes, and of course the quality of the cameras we were using are cinematic. So I think there should be a visual treat for people, and there, many people who have lived in Singapore or are from outside should get some different perspectives of landscapes inside Singapore. So I think we're hoping it'll be a bit of a visual treat, a bit of an acting treat, a bit of entertainment, and that people will come out saying, "Hey, that was a good movie."
Okay, thanks so much. So, before we leave, I'll just like to get you to sign off with any final words you have about your experience and about what you're looking forward to the most about Dominoes. So, I think let's just go Ishika, Shalima, and then Himanshu.
Yeah, sure. I think my final
Yeah.
message would be a lot of love and hard work went into this movie. As we said, we are not full time actors, we all are learning. So, would be grateful if everyone in Singapore come and watch this movie. It's labor of love, I would say. So, please come in and support us and watch this movie. I'm sure you will love it. So, yeah, that's the end.
Yeah, so I'd say the same. A lot of love has gone into it, but it's a total entertainer, and we are having a red carpet, so it's going to be an exciting evening. Friday evening, well spent for sure. The audience will come because they like the story, they'll enjoy the story, and another exciting thing is that you always see big Bollywood, Hollywood actors on screen, and we're all used to that, right? But to see your friends and people who roam around in Giant and NTUC on the big screen, that's something different and exciting, right? So this film is completely made in Singapore by local artists, actors, directors, producers, technicians, everyone's local. So come and support the local art, come and watch us. And it's exciting when you see us sitting right next to you. And before that, taking pictures with you at the red carpet.
Yeah, so I would say that if you are anyone, male or female, stuck in a particular moment in time right now, and we hope this film will inspire you and give you some confidence to take the next step and break your ceiling. And if you are someone who knows someone like that, then we hope that you will find something in here that will inspire you to inspire them. And therefore, I think that's really what we're hoping, as Shalom had said before, that we, through this film, can also create a little domino effect of our own, and help people break through. So yeah, that would be my last message. And I'm hoping even if a couple of people came and said, "Man, I really got inspired and I took the next step after watching this film," that would be, I think, success.
Okay, thanks a lot for speaking with us. All the best for Dominoes. I'm sure it's the first of many great productions to come from Dreamcatchers. And
Thank you so
congratulations
much.
on its
Thank
success.
you.